on Mpakani.
Zara. Naburang?
We recover 4 adult remains. 3 male and 1 female.
وحرب إني وهذا إنتن.
وإنك عشكين نكر شذوين.
Kupata Waibrania kama sikiza tuni yako, bonyeza *811 *817#.
Yesu Kristo ni yule yule, jana, leo na hata milele. Wahibrania 13:8.
Kupata Waibrania, bonyeza *811 *817#. *811 *817#.
Good evening. This is Sunday Express on KBC Channel 1. I am Regina, being the 12th of February 2023, exactly 48 hours before the whole globe celebrates what we term as a day of love, and that is Valentine. However, grim statistics from the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, according to a survey conducted in 2019, a divorce rate that we have in the country is currently at 16.5%. This means that 1 in every 18 households in Kenya is headed by a divorcee or one who has been divorced or separated. Tonight, we want to put matters into perspective on how to build lasting relationships. But before we talk about relationships, let's also look at what we're going to be bringing you tonight in as far as news is concerned. Matters of security as well as quite matters of politics. First things first, the highlights.
Nitafanya kazi na viongozi wote waliopata nafasi ya kuchaguliwa katika taifa letu la Kenya.
I will work with everyone. President William Ruto says he will engage all elected leaders on his development agenda. Daring the referee, Raila Odinga maintains that the opposition won the 2022 presidential election, challenging IEBC to publish and collate the constituency figures.
Nimemwambia Profesa Kindiki atoke ofisi Nairobi, aende aishi kule North Rift mpaka hiyo mambo ya wananchi kupoteza maisha yao iishe.
And we will silence the guns. President Ruto maintains it is just a matter of time until government deals with banditry once and for all.
Good evening, you're watching Sunday Express and I am Regina Manyara. Our sign language interpreter is Lancer Ondingo. Now we start off with what the president had to say in Nakuru, where he said he will transcend political and tribal barriers to engage all elected leaders on his development agenda, appearing to respond to those who have accused him of cannibalizing the opposition by wooing their members. The president says he is unstoppable and will go to every length to ensure there's effective service delivery for all Kenyans, irrespective of political choices they made in the last elections. Here's John Jacob Kiria with the details.
In keeping up with the tradition he has adopted, President William Ruto was in Nakuru County for an interdenominational Thanksgiving service that brought together 14 counties from the former Rift Valley province.
Thank you, my God, concerning our church, the Church of Jesus Christ, in the entire nation of Kenya.
Song and dance filling the athletics club grounds in Nakuru as thousands gathered to thank God for President Ruto's victory in the elections last year. But the meeting was not just a Thanksgiving service, as President William Ruto sought to showcase his parliamentary majority by presenting members allied to the Kenya Kwanza administration and his latest coach, 30 members of his former Jubilee party.
Nominated member wa Jubilee, Mama Sabina, who is also our deputy minority whip. Na hiyo kiti yako utaendelea kukalia.
The president charging at those accusing him of cannibalizing the opposition by wooing members elected on Azimio ticket to his side.
Wale wanafikiria ya kwamba wanaweza kuturudisha nyuma na kutugawanya na kutufanya hostages ya mambo yao ya ukabila na mambo yao ya personality cult. I want to say, for the avoidance of doubt, that I will work with all leaders of the Republic of Kenya that have been elected together with me to serve the people of Kenya. And there will be no boundaries elected by anybody. We will not need any permission from anybody to work as the leaders of Kenya in the best interest of what is necessary and what is due to the people of Kenya.
Rais, endelea kuunganisha wa Kenya. Wewe ni rais wa Kenya. Na wale wanawatisha watu ya Jubilee na ya ODM ati walifanya makosa kuja kwa William Ruto, wanataka waende wapi? Kenya iko rais ngapi?
The head of state says his eyes are set on the unity and development for the country.
Mimi ndio kiongozi wa Kenya. Nitafanya kazi na viongozi wote waliopata nafasi ya kuchaguliwa katika taifa letu la Kenya, bila ya kujali wanatoka jamii gani, kabila gani, chama gani. Tutafanya kazi ya kupeleka taifa letu mbele pamoja.
Walitutisha wakiwa kwa mamlaka, sasa wakiwa nje kuna kitu wanafanyia nyinyi?
If it is an inspector general, you do your job. When you transit, you allow the other inspector general to do their job. You don't come back to the arena. So we are pleading and reminding those who have transited that the time now is for William Ruto. You transit and let William Ruto do his job.
But the biggest question, obviously, was on the future of a Jubilee party led by retired President Uhuru Kenyatta, who left no doubt on Saturday that his party was still aligned to Raila Odinga's Azimio. Rebel MPs led by Iala MP Kanini Kega say they are seeking new partnership in the Kenya Kwanza administration and are also seeking legal options to exit the Azimio coalition.
The mere fact that we are here, it shows that we recognize that the fifth president of the Republic of Kenya is none other than His Excellency William Samoei Ruto.
President Ruto says the current pressure rallies organized by Odinga will not distract him from course.
Wale jamaa ambao walikuwa wamepanga maandamano na kuleta fujo na kufanya nini, Mungu akachelewesha mipango yao. Mipango yao ikawa imechelewa karibu miezi 5. Sasa ndio wanastuka kufanya maandamano ile walikuwa wamepanga kufanya siku hiyo. Kwa hivyo Mungu amechelewesha mipango yao na tunaomba Mungu acheleweshe mipango yao milele mfululizo.
Usiuziwe uoga kama vile mwenzetu aliuziwa uoga akakubali handshake ambayo ilitupeleka chini.
Accused of cannibalizing the opposition by wooing members of parliament to his side, the president says he's solely focused on development. But political pundits say the president is shoring up his numbers ahead of a heavy legislative agenda beginning Tuesday this coming week. John Jacob Curia, Sunday Express.
Now, while the president continues to say that he is willing to work with all leaders, irrespective of their political views, especially how they voted in the last August polls. Now, the opposition chief Raila Odinga wants IEBC to publish the final constituency vote tally in line with the constitution. Raila wondered why IEBC was yet to release the final presidential results as per the constituency tally. He revealed that Azimio will be releasing their final tally, and if IEBC is in disagreement, they should release their tally and open the servers for counter tally. Achola Simon with the details.
Azimio la Umoja leader Raila Odinga has rekindled the open the server debate as he maintains his victory in the last general poll was stolen.
Kama wanasema hiyo ni uongo, wafungue server kama wanataka. Fungue server. Kwanza Mwanachemukati mpaka atoke ofisi hakuchapa matokeo ya uchaguzi ya urais.
Raila wondered why several months after the conclusion of the presidential poll, IEBC was yet to release the constituency tally in line with the constitution.
Manake sheria inasema ati uchaguzi rais inapigwa katika kila constituency. Kila constituency. Hapa Busia tuko na Budalangi, tuko na Funyula, tuko na Masayos, tuko na Nambale, tuko na Butula, Teso South na Teso North. Constituency ngapi? 7. Ngapi? Hajachapisha hizi ma constituencies.
He revealed the coalition will release its collated constituency tally, and should IEBC dispute the results, then they too must release their constituency tally and open the servers for counter tally.
Kama wanasema hiyo ni uongo, wafungue server kama wanataka. Fungue server. Kwanza Mwanachemukati.
The opposition chief spoke as he led his brigade in Busia for the ongoing public barazas forum. The leaders accused the Kenya Kwanza administration of failing to lower the cost of living.
Hiyo ni uongo tupu. Kila mwezi, kwa hiyo miezi 5 karibu 6 wamekalia, wanakusanya ushuru bilioni 173. Kwa hiyo miezi 5 peke yake wamekusanya 863 billion. Karibu trilioni 1 kwa miezi 6. Hiyo pesa yote imeenda wapi kama haija teremusha bei ya unga?
Mkiona watu ambao wanasimama mbele ya watu macho face to face, yani mundu kumundu, na kusema mimi nataka kuingia Kenya kwisha. Ujue hata hiyo Kenya kwisha yenyewe inafanya unconstitutional thing. Yani huwezi kuwa kiongozi wa nchi ambaye unasimamia mipango ya kuharibu katiba, kwa sababu hiyo katiba ndio pengine unashikilia peke yake.
Judas wengine kule Nakuru wakisema kwamba ati Jubilee inaenda Kenya kuisha. Hiyo sahau. Ile nataka kukuambia hivi na wabunge wako hapa. Ile kiti tulikuwa tumepatia mama anaitwa Sabina ati yawe whip ya Azimio, hiyo sasa kuisha. Na hawa wabunge wako na kazi kuhakikisha kwamba Sabina is not a whip kuanzia Tuesday ya Azimio.
Karua hapa mumeona Matiba, mkiona Kioni hapo mumeona Rubia, na sisi tumesema hii safari lazima iendelee hadi tutoe hawa wanafunzi wa Moi, sababu wale jamaa wako State House sasa. Hawa ndio walikuwa YK92, mnajua hiyo.
The opposition further criticized the dropping of cases against some senior officers in the Kenya Kwanza administration. Achola Simon, Sunday Express.
President William Ruto has reiterated his government's commitment to tackling banditry and cattle rustling and restoring order in areas affected by the menace. He was speaking in Nakuru County during the interdenominational prayer meeting, where the head of state said he had instructed the Cabinet Secretary for Interior, Professor Kindiki Kithure, to pitch camp in areas affected until normalcy is restored. This directive follows claims by Trans Nzoia Governor George Natembeya that poor working conditions are forcing some police officers to trade ammunition for food in areas of operation.
Days after hundreds of bandits ambushed and killed 3 police officers and a number of civilians near the border between Turkana and West Pokot counties, President William Ruto has reassured Kenyans that the government is focused on addressing insecurity.
Nimemwambia Professor Kindiki atoke ofisi Nairobi, aende aishi kule North Rift mpaka hiyo mambo ya wananchi kupoteza maisha yao iishe.
President Ruto, who is in Nakuru for a 2-day visit, issued a fresh warning to bandits, saying his administration will use all means to end the banditry, which has claimed many lives.
Tumeweka mpango kamili na ile uwezo wote wa serikali. Tutahakikisha wale watu wajeuri wachache wako pale wanajaribu kutuonyesha jeuri, tutapimana na wao na tutahakikisha kwamba hakuna Mkenya anapoteza maisha yake, na tutahakikisha kwamba wakaribu kuharibu usalama wa taifa letu la Kenya, na sisi tutapambana na wao vilivyo.
The head of state was responding to calls by a section of political leaders from the Rift Valley region to have military officers deployed in Kerio Valley to tackle insecurity in the region.
Hawa polisi wako huko pia wasaidiwe na ndege ili waweze kupambana na hiyo machangili. Na Your Excellency, ndege za polisi na ndege za KWS na ndege za forest ambazo katika ile serikali nyingine walikusanya zote na wakaweka kwa jeshi. Wacha polisi wasimamie ndege yao ndio wafanye rapid response, tusipoteze askari wengi wakifanya mambo ya usalama huko.
Trans Nzoia Governor George Natembeya openly defended the sacrifices made by security personnel fighting bandits across the country, saying that many of them lack motivation and enough resources to carry out their mandate.
Mshahara ambayo yule officer anapata kwa kule Kabedo, yule mshahara ambayo askari amesimama Bangata kwa traffic anapata. There's no incentive whatsoever. Number 3, hata chakula kule inafika mahali askari wanafanya an unholy alliance na majangili, wapeane risasi ili wapewe mbuzi wa kule. Tumejiaibisha kabisa.
Tension remains high in Kainuk, Kakong and Kalemorok, and locals are reportedly moving to safer areas following the attack. Ben Chumba, Sunday Express.
Maybe sending in some more boots under the general service units is going to bring normalcy in the area. Sunday Express takes its first break. We'll be right back.
Nimesahau kucheza Loto Moto. Usisahau kucheza Loto Moto. Shinda milioni 2 kila siku kwenye M-Pesa. Chagua lipa na M-Pesa. Paybill number 757070. Account number andika neno Loto. Kisha weka star na nambari yako ya simu. Weka kiwango chochote cha pesa kuanzia shilingi 50 hadi 2000.
Aulali.
Lipa kisha subiri draw. Welala. Nitakutimizia ndoto zako. Milioni 2 usiamini. Ujumbe huu umeidhinishwa na BCLB.
Good evening, this is Sunday Express. Now, detectives in Thika are interrogating 4 university students believed to be part of a gang behind incidents of violent robberies in Ruai, Juja and Kayole. Undercover police officers on Saturday evening, after a joint operation, they arrested a 19-year-old Kenyatta University student who led them to his 3 accomplices from Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology, living at Kwa Benson apartment in Juja's container area. After a thorough search conducted in a single room, an imitation of a Glock as a pistol, 8 used 9x19mm special cartridges, 1 empty pistol magazine, and 1 white plastic face mask, 2 laptops believed to have been stolen property, among other items, were recovered. The suspects were escorted to Juja police station and are pending further interrogation and arraignment before court. Now, away from matter security to the drought situation in the country, where the situation continues to be dire, and it has forced some farmers to look for alternative ways of increasing food production in the country. In Manyara North, a group of farmers have embraced mixed farming, which they say has boosted their food security in the midst of the drought.
Rainfall failure in Manyara for 4 consecutive seasons. The drought situation in Manyara County continues to hit severely following 4 successful failed rainy seasons. So dry is the place that some children born 2 to 3 years ago have never seen torrents of rain. However, in Manyara North, a group of farmers who are predominantly pastoralists have embraced mixed farming through installation of irrigation projects in the region. Their farm is an admirable green wonder dotted with crops such as pawpaw, bananas, orange-fledged sweet potatoes, sukuma wiki and maize at various stages of growth. Rukia Mohamud, one of the farmers in the area, is seen harvesting the orange-fledged sweet potatoes in her farm. She says she decided to grow the crop as it will aid children who are malnourished in the region.
Kutokana na hii kiangazi iko na muhimu mingi. Inasaidia sana. Tunawaambia watu wetu wanunulie watoto inaweza kuwa kama breakfast kwa mama ambaye wananyonyesha, watu ambaye wako na mzito na watoto, hasa watoto.
The farmers, however, decried a myriad of challenges, including human-wildlife conflict, and appealed to the government to intervene so that food production increases in the area during the drought period.
Na kitu ambayo imetuzidia kabisa kama nyani, soke mtu, yani hii mumea tunapanda ili tujisaidia nao. Naye hao wanyama kulingana na kiangazi yenye iko wanakuja kushambulia kukula hizi vitu.
Hii shamba sasa ni almost eka 300. Na hiyo eka 300 inategemea engine moja tu, irrigation pump set moja. Na alafu inategemea kanali moja tu.
In terms of irrigation, I think there's a site where there are 3 sites which we have identified where pipes will be laid to produce, to ensure that there's more production in terms outside the flood zone, so that we encourage crop production, and that one will at least help try to address the issue of food insecurity, which is plaguing our country.
Manyara has been among counties hardest hit by the brutal effects of drought due to climate change.
Now, residents of Ndiwa village in Nyatike in Migori County took to the streets to celebrate the appointments of former Nyatike Member of Parliament Edik Anyanga to the Kenya Nuclear Regulatory Authority. Now, the residents said the appointment is an indication that the government is committed to working with all Kenyans. They now want the government to expedite the compensation of locals who gave their land for the multi-billion shillings Lower Kuja irrigation scheme that was initiated to increase food production and offer employment opportunities.
County of Migori, especially in Nyatike, yes, we have never been appointed to the national government post since independence. Correct. We want to thank our president and his deputy president, Rigathi Gachagua, for appointing our son.
Now that you've remembered us,
as a whole county and a whole region of South Nyanza by appointing our only son, Honorable Eddie Komondi Anyanga. We will support you 100% and be sure that in 2027 we will give you our votes.
They say if you want to go fast, go alone, but if you want to go far, go together. Seems as that's the direction that the government is taking. Now, youth in Kirigiti, Kiambu County have been challenged to fight the urge to embrace teachings that go against the Bible. Bishop Jane Gathoni of the Kirema Tent Prayers says the modern youth is faced with numerous forms of evil, some of which are too tempting for the young generation. The bishop spoke at the Kirema Prayer Resource Center, where she said the youth must embrace prayer and rehabilitation to rise from vices occasioned by depression and hopelessness.
Kuna vitu ambavyo una struggle navyo kama dawa, kama ulevi, kama mambo ambayo yanaharibu maisha yako. Unapokuja mahali kama hapa, unajitenga, unaomba, there is deliverance that comes with that.
And the church in Kenya right now, what it needs is energy. What it needs is strength. And the youths are the people who can give the church the strength.
Because we have talks on homosexualism, we have talks on lesbianism. We ask them how did they get into the lifestyle. And most of them, that's what they tell us. They were desperate, they had no money, nowhere to live, and some older person invites them into their home and introduces them to the lifestyle.
To the counties, the Teacher Service Commission is being accused of ignoring Parliament attempts to abolish the delocalization policy. Manyara Member of Parliament Gitonga Mukunji says TSC has continued to act in complete disregard of a motion passed in Parliament compelling the teachers' employer to do away with the policy.
Manyata MP Gitonga Mukunji said it is wrong for TSC to disobey the directive, saying he had received numerous complaints from teachers in the area whose request for transfers back home had not been acted upon.
Ningeomba TSC ifuate masharti ile tuliwapea, kwa sababu delocalization ya walimu tulisema isifanywe kama mwalimu ana sheria yake.
Meanwhile, in Kisii, Governor Simba Arati has been petitioned by a civil society organization to explain the state of pending bills to prevent disruption of service delivery in the county.
Simba Arati to give an account on why he cannot pay all pending bills as directed by the controller of budget. 3.
While a section of residents in Kipkelion West is set to benefit from 186 million shilling clean water project to be put on 1 acre piece of land donated by the Moi family.
We've already paid close to 80 million to the contractor. The remaining around 100 million will be paid now upon the completion of this water project.
In Busia County, members of the Muslim community from Jamia Mosque, Malaba, are appealing to other Muslims across the country to stand with their brothers and sisters in Turkey during this trying moment.
Sisi kama jamii ya Waislamu tuko pamoja na wale wenye wameathirika huko na hiyo kikosi ya mtetemeko wa ardhi.
The death toll from the earthquake has surpassed 33,000 and is likely to arise as authorities continue to search beneath the rubble. Finally, police officer in Lara Igembe North Sub-County have nabbed 50 liters changa and 5,000 liters of muina, a local ingredient used to brew the liquor.
Na tutaita wananchi tuonyeshe na watuambie wale wanaendelea na hiyo biashara ya kupika pombe haramu ndio tuweze kupeleka hao kotini ama kusaka hao na kupeleka hao kotini.
Police say they will intensify the crackdown in the days to come rid the region of illicit brew.
Nimesahau kucheza loto moto. kucheza Loto Moto. Shinda milioni 2 kila siku kwenye M-Pesa. Chagua lipa na M-Pesa. Paybill number 757070. Account number andika neno Loto. Kisha weka star na nambari yako ya simu. Weka kiwango chochote cha pesa kuanzia shilingi 50 hadi 2,000.
Aulali.
Lipa kisha subiri draw. Welala. Nitakutimizia ndoto zako. Milioni 2 usiamini. Ujumbe huu umeidhinishwa na BCLB.
Enjoy a selection of the best. Regina Ray and Tingazi.
Bado hujamwambia unamlike. Umerealize hajamwachilia mkono kutoka nikuje hapa.
Love blossoms in Mexico with the trio sisters in Las Bandidas.
I beg you, please don't go.
Want you to be the happiest man in the world with a woman who appreciates and respects you.
An array of music rave.
Make me lie when I don't want to.
Blues.
You are my everything.
Two local gems. And we sit to chat with the Thiambo.
You know, I can't even tell whether you're looking at me, seeing me. The Louis Vuitton.
Classic comedy.
Nakono too. Say that
again. Enjoy the Divas programming this February only on KBC Channel 1. Kenya's watching.
A very good evening to you. My name is Daniel Wahome and welcome to KBC Easy Sunday Sport. And it's all systems go ahead of the Mozart African Cup for Men's and Women's Club Championships set to start tomorrow, Monday the 13th of February to the 19th of February at the City Park in Nairobi. The Continental Showpiece has received a sponsorship of 800,000 from Mozart Bet.
Speaking at the Kenya Hockey Union offices in Nairobi, Kenya Hockey Union President Nahashon Randiek said Kenya is ready to host the Continental Tournament.
It has been a bumpy road for the tournament. After being rescheduled, first it was given to Malawi and they were unable to host. Then it was given to South Africa, who declined at the last minute. Then Africa Hockey Federation requested Kenya Hockey to host, and that was in December.
Randiek added that the Kenyan teams are well prepared and ready to showcase their prowess in the sport.
If you're a beggar, then you cannot be a chooser. If you're a chooser, you are not a beggar. If you are needy, if I give you 10 shillings, you will take the 10 shillings and then you look for some more elsewhere. So this will go a long way to ensure that this tournament is successfully run.
Shirikisho hilo leo limepokea udhamini wa shilingi 800,000 kutoka kwa kampuni ya kamari ya Mozart Bet.
This is beginning and of course this
Guys, for that voiceover that came in Swahili. Let's move on to volleyball, where First Rising Equity Bank registered their third consecutive victory with a 3-1 win over Powerhouse KPA on day 3 of the second leg of the Kenya Volleyball Federation Men's League that is being played at the Manyara National Stadium. Meanwhile, Administration Police labored before sending off Kenya Forest Service in a 5-set 3.
Kirongo charges made their intentions clear from the onset, winning the first set 25-23. The Bankers did not relent as their well-organized defense, attack and reception ensured they bagged the second set 25-14. KPA regrouped and their efforts paid off, winning the third set 25-23. However, Equity Bank won the fourth set 25-20 to walk away with maximum points. The win over the Dockers was the third consecutive victory for Equity Bank in the second leg of the league after seeing off Western Prisons and Vihiga County. Administration Police labored before seeing off Kenya Forest Service in a 5-set thriller. Kingori Mwangi for Channel 1 Sports.
Away from Nairobi, let's move on to Morocco now, where Real Madrid thrashed Al Hilal 5-3 in a remarkable 8-goal FIFA Club World Cup final in Rabat to win the trophy for a record-extending 5th time. Meanwhile, Brazilian side Flamengo registered a 4-2 victory over Al Ahly to finish third. Dismas Otuke has got this report.
Al Hilal in the all-blue kicking through.
Federico Valverde and Vinicius Jr. scored a brace each to guide Real Madrid to a 5-3 win over Asian champions Al Hilal in an entertaining final played yesterday night at the Prince Moulay Abdallah Stadium in Rabat, Morocco. It was the 5th time for Madrid to lift the trophy, becoming the first club to achieve the feat since the inception of the tournament in the year 2000. European Champions League winners Madrid were heavy favourites against their Asian counterparts and duly raced into a 2-0 lead inside the first 20 minutes through Vinicius and Valverde. However, Al Hilal, who were the first Asian team to play in the final of the tournament, pulled one goal back through Musa Marega shortly before the break. Los Blancos extended their lead in the second stanza through their captain Karim Benzema before Valverde tapped in a 4th goal. Carlo Ancelotti's men lackluster defending allowed Luciano Vieto to score twice before Vinicius scored his 2nd of the night to secure victory for his side in an 8-goal thriller encounter which was attended by over 44,000 people. The Spanish Giants' win ensured they have lifted the trophy in all the finals they have played between 2014 and 2018, followed by their arch-rivals Barcelona, who have 3 titles in their name. South American champions Flamengo rallied from behind to beat 10-man Al Ahly of Egypt 4-2 to take bronze medal in an early kickoff match played at Ibn Battuta Stadium in Tangier City in the Kingdom of Morocco. It was the 3rd time the tournament was held in Morocco, which is also optimistic of playing host to 2025 African Cup of Nations finals, with the winner set to be announced later this month.
Thank you very much, Dismas Otuke, for that report from Rabat. Now, on to golf, where the final round of the Safari Tour, this is the Muthaiga leg, was a nail-biting one as 3 players, Gaita Rodell, Daniel Nduva and Samuel Njoroge, tied for the lead after shooting 4 under par. The trio played with great precision and skill, setting the bar high for the rest of the competition. The competition continues tomorrow with the cut, where only the top 20 players will advance to the 3rd round. With this being the final leg of the Safari Tour, the players are putting their best foot forward to secure enough points to make it to the final list of the magical Kenya Open. The players are all geared up for tomorrow's final round.
I've been swinging well of late. Even in Karen, I played well. The only thing I needed to work on this week was a bit of chipping and my putting, and I started dropping some good putts today, and I came with a good round today.
First 9 I played level, so second 9 I said I can do it. I've played even second 9 6 under, so today I said I want to birdie 3 or 4 holes to put myself in a good position going forward.
And on to the pools, where Duini Kafini smashed her own record as Aga Khan Academy Mombasa asserted their supremacy at the Kasa Swimming Gala in Mombasa. The 3-day swimming championship attracted teams from Nairobi and Mombasa counties.
Sensational swimmer Duini Kafini shattered her own record as Aga Khan Academy Mombasa asserted their dominance at the Kasa Mixed Level Age Group Open and Master Swimming Gala in Mombasa. Kafini smashed her own record in girls 14 to 15 years 100 meters breaststroke of 1 minute 19.96 seconds. She set on 26th June last year to register a new course record of 1 minute 19.51 seconds. In the girls 12 to 13 years 50 meters freestyle level 2, Atia Tendo and Aminas Kachra, both from Aga Khan, clocked 30.80 seconds and 31 1.58 seconds to finish first and second respectively. Amina Sheikh from Mandari touched the line with a time of 33.09 seconds for the third spot. Aga Khan's Iman Kasuja timed 41.66 seconds to win the girls 14 to 15 years 50 meters freestyle level 1 crown. Soha Surani of Akan Academy, Mombasa won the girls 14 to 15 years 50 meters freestyle level 1 category with a time of 37.72 seconds, as Faith Priska of Mombasa Parents Club clocked 40.17 seconds to win the girls 12 to 13 years 50 meters freestyle. Coast CASA executive member Sahil Harunani said several events have been lined up to prepare swimmers for the Africa Junior Swimming Championship slated for September 6th to 10th in Sudan.
We have junior championships happening in about 3 weeks' time on the 11th and 12th of March, where we're going to have the 9 years and unders, and after that we're going to have a short break of about a month or two before we return again for our senior championships.
I feel like I just need to train more harder and be more consistent to make sure that I can continue to prosper in swimming. And I feel like I need to train better because there's the Africa Junior Games coming up in Sudan.
I've done really well. I've gotten like 6 golds. My stroke is breaststroke. I've improved really well thanks to my coach. I've been training hard. December, I really trained hard and I came here and I got results. I got all PBs. My breaststroke.
The 3-day swimming championship attracted teams from Nairobi and Mombasa.
From the pools, let's move on to rugby, where KCB RFC ran riot against Menengai Oilers, hammering the Nakuru-based side 62-15 in a Kenya Cup clash played at the Nakuru Showground. KCB will be back in action at the Lions Den on the 18th of February against defending champions Kabras Sugar.
The Bankers have extended their win in the current 2022-2023 Kenya Cup season to 9 wins out of 9 games played, with victory earned against Menengai Oilers, earning them a bonus point. The home side earned 3 points after penalty by Geoffrey Ominde, but scrum half Samuel Asati cancelled the lead with an excellent try to make it 7-3. Darwin Mukiza added another try for the Bankers before Asati got his brace and a penalty before the break to give KCB a comfortable 23-3 lead at the interval. Festus Shihasi, making his debut for the first team, showed his class after the break, scoring a brace, but Elfa Sadunga, Brian Wahinya and former Shujaa captain Andrew Amonde cemented KCB's win. Geoffrey Ominde pulled 1 try for his team in the dying minutes for a 62-15 final scoreline. KCB will be back in action at the Den on 18th of this month against defending champions Kabras Sugar.
Actually, the 18th of February is going to be very interesting because it's the day of the World Cross Country Championships. KBC will be broadcasting it, and Kabras versus KCB in the Kenya Cup, that's a huge one. Well, that's a sport for tonight, and coming up after this, it's going to be our live studio interview on the Sunday Express, and the topic today is building lasting unions. Regina Manyara is going to be hosting Christian Matthew, who's the author of Managing Conflicts Without Violence, and it is about marriage, and he is a marriage and family therapist. Remember, this comes in as we head into the week where the town is going to be painted red with love. My name is Daniel Wahome. Have a good evening, and I hand you over to Regina Manyara. Thank you for being with us.
After the conclusion of an impressive Athletics Kenya Cross Country Championships, Team Kenya now sets her sight on the 44th edition of the global showpiece, the World Athletics Cross Country Championships Bathurst 23 in Australia. Lined up for the titles is Kenya's contingent of 30 world beaters, ready to contest with more than 550 athletes from over 60 nations. Enjoy these spectacular races from Bathurst, Australia on Saturday, 18 February 2023, live and exclusive on KBC Channel 1. KBC Channel 1, your true sports partner.
Good evening. Now we speak about building lasting unions or relationships, if you like, with just under 48 hours to Valentine's Day, a day that is pegged to celebrate love. But given the grim statistics, according to KNBS, is that 1 out of every 18 households in the country is headed by a person who's been divorced or is separated. That is a 16.5% rate, and it has been growing. So how do we address this? Taking us through this conversation is none other than Christian Matthew, who is a marriage and family therapist as well as an author. Thank you very much for
Thank you, Reggie.
The statistics are as grim as it is.
Yeah.
So what do you think is actually fueling this, increase in the rate of divorce, separation, and single parent-headed families?
Well, thank you, Reggie. Foundations. People do not have understanding of what they are going into, and sometimes people are not very honest with themselves. They could not differentiate between what they want and what they need. But more worrisome statistic is that of elderly people divorcing, 65 and above, getting divorced. They have children, grandchildren, some even have great-grandchildren. So it boils to the fact that they have not deeply thought about what they are into. Maybe they thought marriage is just fine there, and anytime there are some challenges, they're not ready to forgive, and the other person is not ready to respect. And just like the Bible has said, love and submission.
Love and submission.
Yes.
Before we tackle love and submission, let's highlight what you have said. We need to appreciate and also understand what it is that you want.
Yeah.
And what you need.
Yes.
How do we separate the two? Well,
oftentimes an average person does not really study himself. And everybody should be able to look inward and to think outside of the box. If anybody thinks extempore, now I need money and that person can provide money, is marriage about money alone? Oh, I need some comfort in this area, I want to pay school fees, and that person provides? Is marriage all about school fees? So it is, we have to consider the holistic aspect of it and what they really need. Unfortunately, Reggie, people hardly understand exactly what they need in marriage. They just tell you, the Bible says that we should get married and or I'm getting old, or the society says this, or because of children. The question is, what exactly do you need in marriage? Can this person provide it? That is what I meant by want and need. If you need something better, you need some peace, you need tranquility, you need somebody that will respect you, you need somebody that will see you as, that will value you. Because you see, everybody's goal is built upon by his values. If I have these values, okay, what are my values? Then what are my goals? Majority go into marriage without considering their values. And once they get there, they compare notes and they want to bolt out. That's why you see a lot of divorce, and it's very prominent.
Mm-hmm. We do not, the question is, people while dating, let's go back to the dating scene before we even get through courtship and now marriage. Okay. Looking at the statistics here, a majority of people want to try it out, what we are talking, or rather what we are terming colloquially as friends with benefits or situationships and such. We have tried to come up with all manner of descriptions to just testing the waters, dipping the toe and checking if the water is too hot, too cold, too dark. We are still experimenting. But during this experimentation, Christian, no one is actually speaking the truth. No one is talking about their expectations. How then do we use, or rather, how then do you counsel those who may be watching how to properly communicate on what exactly they need from their partners or potential partners to avert the situation we find ourselves in?
Thank you, Reggie. The truth is, marriage is deeper than we have assumed. And I think life is changing. Where I come from, once you are married, it does not matter whether who you are married to is a monster. You have to stay in that relationship, possibly until you are buried, because some people say, come. But sometimes you don't consider the aspect of a particular lady Jesus met by the well and asked her, go and call me your husband. And the lady said, I have no husband. And Jesus said, you are very, very okay. You are very truthful. Because you have had some 5 men in your life, and the current one you are staying with is really not your husband. And here we're going to kill, we're going to massacre that lady and whatever. If that lady was testing water and just discovered that, hey, this person is not good enough for me, this person will kill me, I'm not going to have some peace and tranquility with this person, and that person get out and like Jesus met her, the whole world will say, hey, you see, she had dated 50 people. No, is it not? But the Bible says a wise man sees danger ahead, he avoids it. The foolish one will just say there is no danger, and at the end of the day, he will enter into it, and it's going to, you see, easy entry, easy exit. Now, testing water, yeah.
So are you advocating from a therapist's point of view, are you advocating for us to continue testing the waters? Actually, in Kiswahili, people are saying, soko ni chafu. Are you advocating for this? Or is there a better way to actually test the waters without losing the essence, our our values? Is there a better way we can test the waters?
Okay, thank you. That is if we actually have values. Oh. Yes, sometimes we don't really know who we are and what we want or what we need. Sometimes we don't have, you see, it's like we are applying somebody else's solution to a specific problem. If an individual studies himself or herself very well and what would be good for him or her, then he can go ahead. What are my values? What do I need there? Now, in the past, when a man would want to ask a lady out, he will have studied her, he will have had some questions from other people, he will have spoken to his parents, and there are people that want to do some investigation. We no longer do it. We go on social media, somebody will have to tell a lie to another person, and we go in there, and we rush into that. Now, testing water, I said the other time, easy entry, easy exit. If we are patient enough, although the society will frown at it again. I mean, if I were a lady and I'm in my 50s and I'm not gotten married, there's a prognosis, and start worrying that this person will say, okay, now I'm 50. What will people say? Will people live with you in your marriage? No. So the Bible says, prove all things and hold fast to the truth. So before we enter into the air, let us find out whatever means we can find out, and if we are not getting our answers, please, silence sometimes is a good answer. Just stay with your conviction. Don't rush out. Some people have rushed out and they are dead by now. That's about testing water. So
we do a thorough investigation. That's what you're saying. Yes. Get to know the person you're actually wanting to align with. Find out all that you can. Verify. Get proof before you actually say yes.
You're very correct, Reggie. My worries, you see, the Bible says somewhere in the book of Proverbs chapter, I guess chapter 20, many a man profess to be good, but a faithful man who can find. Everybody will put some good money in his breast pocket and try to be good. And who can find that person? Somewhere in the book of John chapter 2, verse 24-25, Jesus said, the Bible says, Jesus knew men, did not rely on them, did not even want anybody to tell him about men, because he knew what he has made in man. An average person can be very tricky. So when you are dealing with a person, know that this is a tricky person, and I want to do all my assignment, and I want to find out. See, oftentimes we go into relationship, we don't ask questions. Ask that person, are you going to make me have this peace? Are you going to, these are my values. Are you that person that will make my goal to be fulfilled and all that? Then we go out there and we don't want to forget asking God about that person, because He declares the end from the beginning. He knows that person who is pretending, who will turn out to be somebody very dangerous in near future.
So we ask the right questions.
Yes.
But now, other than us, let's now address the people who find themselves in these relationships. As you've said, there's growing concern that the elderly, people who've been married 20, 30 years, are ending up separating and getting divorced. And some of them even are getting into, domestic squabbles that end in death and maiming. What is changing within the family unit? Is it that the value of a family unit is eroding? Or why is it suddenly very easy for a 70-year-old man and woman who've been married for 30 years to call it quits? Children and grandchildren, regardless.
Well, I did the research some 10 years ago in Kenya here, Nigeria, Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire, and this Dakar, what is now the Senegal. And I discovered that majority of people in relationship are there because of parenting.
Children.
Yes. Say, so that I don't want my children to be affected. And some are there because of their position in the church. Some are there because of what the society will say. So, oftentimes people do not forgive. And I'm a psychologist. Sometimes when some people argue in counseling room, I want to conceptualize mental health issue. What we eat, what we drink, what we put on our skin and all that has affected a lot of things. So it might be some slight mental health and what some leaders are doing. If you see your bishop divorcing or having a side chick, and you are just a member and your wife is misbehaving, what prevents you from going ahead and copy that person?
That's a good question.
Yeah,
we're also lacking role models in institutions that should be making the right way for us to emulate.
You are correct.
Now, in the next 48 hours, we're going to be marking the Valentines, and there's a lot of, actually my colleague just said we're going to paint the town red. What are your values, what are your thoughts about PDAs, public displays of affection, that are actually recorded during this time as we work towards getting to a close of this conversation?
Well, it is not love we experiment, it is infatuation. See,
infatuation.
Yes.
Okay.
Love has some bonding, some respect and all that. But just like sex and making love, if you just go around display this, and we know that we do not have the foundation of love. Paul was talking in 1 Corinthians chapter 13 that love, even if I kill myself, he was saying if I kill myself and I don't have love, it means that killing oneself, buy a house for somebody, display this, is not even love, but it's patient. How many people we see less than 48 hours are patient with their partners? How many one is kind? I mean, real kindness. How many people who do not complain about the partner? I'm a counselor, have seen the law. This person will say, this other person will say, and the lady will say, he loves me so much. And when you are in solo counseling with the man, you say, I'm just doing that because I want to get rid of her. Then what is love? And you go to social media, you open doors for each other, you open the door, and you pretend.
The chocolates, the wine,
yes,
the flashy dinner.
Yes. Oh, I call it trophy marriage. We don't display trophy and deceive people. And if somebody is bold enough, I mean, among real big people, even preachers and all that, if they are bold enough to say, what I am having in this relationship is not what is expected of me, then learn. possibly people will be seated. We sit tight and do something. So Valentine is coming, yes, but what you see at that time
will not be, a majority of it will not be true love.
It's infatuation, or I want to display things so that people might see and people might make believe.
For sure.
Make believe.
Well, we have been speaking to Christian Matthews. As short as it has been short and sweet. Some take home is, if you're thinking about getting into a relationship, it has to start on a strong foundation. Ask the right questions. It doesn't have to be cautious. Also look inwards. What are your values? What do you want? What can the other person offer? And are you in a place that allows you to speak about your challenges as well as your dreams in equal measure without worry of being victimized or judged? Well, true relationships indeed from our speaker this evening is that we need to ask the right questions and start off relationships with a great foundation. When it comes to matters of Valentine, we can say, well, as I say, it's none other than PDAs. Our guest has been none other than Christian Matthews. He's a marriage and family therapist. I'm Regina Manyara. I wish you a pleasant week ahead.